Greetings, this is Frosty Thundertrod, Telnar Beastmaster of the Sundered Guard. Today I'm going to be talking about the Summoner class in Ashes of Creation. This is not real information about the Summoner, since all I can do in that regard is just read the wiki to you, which you can do by yourself. So instead, I'm just going to make stuff up. This is going to be what I want the Summoner class to be. Now, the progression system I'm outlining in this, I don't even know if it's going to match up with the progression system in Ashes of Creation. But the general spirit of the abilities I'm lining out should be able to transfer to just about any progression system. So let's start out here at level 1. Spirit of Training. Since the Summoner is a pet class, this was your first pet. This pet looks like a wooden training dummy. Putting points into the skill increases the base stat of the pet. Now, I like the idea of your first pet being a training dummy because this is going to be the pet that teaches you the game. It teaches you the class. It's going to have, very average stats all across the board. Nothing spectacular. Now, since this is a magic class and a pet class, it's going to need some sort of a magic attack without necessarily have to rely on attacks from weapons. So, Spirit Bolt, a magic attack that deals 80% of the damage of the mage basic attack. Putting more points into the skill increases its power, but base power does not scale well. Later, it becomes irresistible, so it is weaker but more reliable damage. Now, since I have to balance the ideas of dealing damage with the character and dealing damage with the pet, keeping this so it starts off, 80% of the strength, but has a compared to a mage, the mage, the more you put into their basic attack, the stronger it gets relatively, as the weaker Spirit Bolt gets. But as it gets to its end, it can no longer be resisted. So this becomes a very much a steady, reliable chip damage spell. It won't be able to nuke somebody down, but as your pets are out dealing damage, you can use this, to still chip away at your enemy's hit points. A very reliable but somewhat weak ability. Now, at level 25, when you start getting augments, there's a lot of creative things you can do with this. Like if you become a necromancer, which is con summoner and cleric, then you can add like a health drain to it. If you decide to mix summoner and warrior, you can have it, instead of, using arrows, you fire spirit bolts from your bow or your crossbow. So instead of using the basic, the 80% damage basic attack, it would be using the attack rating of your weapon that it's being fired out of. I like the idea. Seems to balance this class out very well. Level 2, Conjure Food. Gives the target of the spell a single use heal over time. As you put points into the heal over time, it grows stronger, developing a larger first to heal, and towards the end it also adds a max hit point buff. So this is a way to provide direct healing, but without stepping on the toes of the cleric. So how this would work is I would cast the spell on you, and then you would get an icon on your hotbar if you have a blank spot on your hotbar, or you would just get a button somewhere on the screen that you can click or use the corresponding hotkey for that would activate the hot on you. If it's a low skilled one, it would be just a hot. As it gets about midway through the skill points, then it would become a heal with a hot. And then once it gets toward the top of the skill points put into it, it becomes a hit point buff, a heal, and then a heal over time. I think this gives the summoner some ability to be a support class without too directly interfering with the cleric. Conjure Drink gives the targeted spell a single use mana stamina regen buff. As it scales up, the regen becomes faster and becomes a mana stamina heal, and at the top of its skill, it becomes a mana stamina heal, regen buff, and maximum mana, maximum stamina buff. Once again, this is another interesting ability. It provides some of the support abilities you would expect from a bard, but also in a distinct way. It has to be precast, and of course, it requires the person receiving it to actually do something, unlike most buffs where I just cast it on you and you have the buff. This here, you choose when to use it. Um, Renew the Spirit, level 4. A pet only heal. Has its skills up, the heal becomes stronger. At mid ranks, it becomes a pet only AoE healing. So it heals all your pets and all the pets in the party. It heals the party pets for less than it heals your pets. And at high ranks, it becomes your pets, an AoE, pets, and party members. So it heals your pets for the most, the party pets for a little bit less, and then party members for less than that. So this is a good way to provide healing to the entire group through your pet. So you're using your pet to heal the group. This is a useful heal, but it's nowhere near as strong as what a cleric or a priest would be able to put out. Alright, level 5. Upgrade Spirit of Training to one of the following: Spirit of Protection, Spirit of Aggression, or Spirit of Aid. The pet starts to develop stats and abilities based on where it falls in the Holy Trinity. It changes form to look more suitable for its role. So the Spirit of Protection, of course, will be your tank pet. Spirit of Aggression will be your DPS pet. And Spirit of Aid would be your supporter pet. So it still look like a training dummy at the base, but if it was a Spirit of Protection, it'd have some armor on it and maybe a shield. If it's a Spirit of Aggression, it might have a large sword or a pole arm. Spirit of Aid, it'd have a nice pointy hat and a stick in its hand. It's a logical step as your pets begin to progress with you and they start to take on specialist abilities. Level 6, pet ability and of course skill points. Level 7, Consume Spirit. You transfer hit points from your pets to yourself. As it ranks up, the transfer becomes a group heal. So you transfer it from your pet to your group. If you use Consume Spirit and joint with Renew the Spirit, and they're both ranked up pretty good, it becomes a positive transfer, where your Renew Spirit heals the pet for more than your Consume Spirit takes from it. So once again, this is a way for the summoner to heal the group and provide support through their pets. Level 8, another pet training ability. Level 9, skill point. Level 10, the Spirit of Training evolves. So your first one, if it's a Spirit of Protection, it gets to choose how it mitigates damage. It can be a blocker, a dodger, or just have resistance. Spirit of Aggression, it can choose how it does its DPS. It can be melee physical, it can be range physical, or it can be a magic dealer. Spirit of Aid chooses between buffing, healing, or debuffing. So once again, this helps develop your first pet into a more suitable companion for you. It helps you do things that you can't do on your own. Then this is also the level you get your second pet, the Spirit of Growth. Second pet looks like a smaller, younger version of your character. It has better stats growth than the Spirit of Training, but is always one upgrade stage behind the Spirit of Training. So you have a real choice to make between the two for what you're going to use. So yeah, you're always going to have to choose, do I want to use the Spirit of Growth, which is, got better base stats, or do I want to use the Spirit of Training, which has better abilities? Level 11, at this point, your skill point becomes more about training your equipment than your class. See, at this point, you've got most of your basic abilities already, but I need to leave room for, abilities related to your race, abilities related to your equipment, your armor. So I'm going to, just stick with these base. There's a couple more abilities that are going to pop up later on. So level 12 skill point, level 13 will be skill point, and another level 11 and level 13 will be additional abilities for your pets. In this case, would be the Spirit of Training pet. Level 14 would be skill be skill point. Level 15, you upgrade both the Spirit of Training and the Spirit of Growth. I haven't decided yet. I would think that ideally you wouldn't be able to upgrade the Spirit of Growth in the same way that you did Spirit of Training, but I could also see, allowing that to happen where, yeah, you can have, two spirits of aggression. Then level 16 would be skill point, level 17 skill point, level 18 skill point, 19 skill point, level 20. This is when you get your third pet, Spirit of Experience. Third pet looks like an older version of your character. Um, has the best base stats, but gets the least amount of upgrades. Spirit of Training evolves, Spirit of Growth evolves. No, Spirit of Training upgrades, and Spirit of Growth evolves. Now, once again, I just want to keep the choice here of I want you to have a reason to use both the Spirit of Experience and the Spirit of Training. So um, that's the one I'm doing. The Spirit of Experience will have the best stats, hands down, of any of your pets. Now, when you add your um, augments at level 25, the type of pet it is can change drastically. So when I say the pet looks like an older version of you, this is just the base. If you become a beastmaster like me, this might be a bear, a wolf, a lion, or one of the many animals in Ashes of Creation that we don't have a direct connect parallel to in the real world. Level 21 skill point, 22 skill point, 23 skill point, 24 skill point. Level 25, second class, you, you choose to form your pets, all pets upgrade. So all three of your pets get an upgrade at level 25. Level 26 skill point, level 27 skill point, level 28 skill point, level 29 skill point, level 30. Your Spirit of Experience evolves. Spirits of Training and Spirits of Growth get an upgrade. 31, 32, 33, 34, all skill points. Level 35, all your pets get an upgrade. 36, 37, 38, 39 skill point. Level 40, all your pets get their final upgrades. This is as far as they can go. At this point, your Spirit of Training has been fully upgraded. So whatever path it is, it's got the most abilities. And the Spirit of Experience has the least amount of abilities, but it is the toughest and it has the best stats. Level 41 through 49 are skill points. At level 50 is your capstone ability. This allows you to form Voltron. You combine all of your pets together for a limited time to form a super pet. This is going to be kind of like an ultimate. It won't last long. You combine your pets together, you get one super pet that you get to use for a short time. I think this is a great capstone ability for the summoning class. So that is my ideas for the summoner. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my friends over at thethunderguard.com. Also watch some of my other YouTube friends, Extermicide, MeMat, Roar. Thank you.